A local developer pleaded guilty to taking part in two schemes that contributed to the collapse of a local bank.
It cost taxpayers and investors millions. Eric Menden admitted to a $41 million bank fraud scheme that helped take down Bank of the Commonwealth and a $20 million in tax credit scheme. Authorities arrested his business partner, George Hernowski, and charged him with related crimes. And at least 3 so far unnamed bank insiders will likely face charges in the near future. 10 News side, Stephanie Harris confronted Menden outside the federal court building this morning.
Did you have anything to say?
No comment, thank you.
Mr. Menden, a lot of people don't have money right now. A lot of people trying to get loans. And they're going to look at you tonight, and they are going to be disgusted. Do you have anything to say to them?
No comment, thank you. Yeah, he has no comment right now.
Well, Stephanie, this sounds like a very complex story.
Yeah, Nicole, even the judge said this is very complicated. But according to prosecutors and this very large document right here, this is basically how the schemes worked. The first is described basically as a tit for tat between the businessmen and the bank. Prosecutors say bank insiders gave Menden and Hernowski $41 million in construction loans, no questions asked. In return, the developers would buy bank-owned properties, sometimes going to auctions and bidding to inflate the price so the bank wouldn't lose money on them.
Mr. Menden admitted this morning that he was a causal effect in Bank of the Commonwealth going belly up. He used it as his personal piggy bank.
Prosecutors say that money helped fund the other scheme, which involved these two buildings in Norfolk, the James Madison Hotel on Granby Street and the Mercer Apartments on West Princess Anne Road. Both of these are historic buildings, so any renovations are eligible for tax credits. The men are accused of lying about how much renovations cost and cashing in big. For example, this document shows they received more than $5.5 million in tax credits for the hotel. But it doesn't end there. Prosecutors say they then took those tax credits and sold them to innocent investors for $8 million. Prosecutors put the total cost to taxpayers at $12 million in tax credit fraud and $270 million for the bank failure.
Stay tuned. We're continuing to follow the facts where they lead us.
They're still not sure exactly how much cash Menden walked away with, but he did walk away from us with nothing to say.
Listen, we have no comment, and unfortunately we can't. It's all going to come out, and you can read the documents. They're public comment, and it expresses how contrite and how remorseful he is, and that's all we can say right now. Thank you.
Well, I did read through all of these court documents, and there's nothing in here about remorse, just admission of guilt, which to some may show that he is willing to take responsibility and make restitution. As for that restitution, coming up at 6, we'll look at how the government plans to get your money back, and we'll show you just how Mr. Menden is living in Chesapeake. Stephanie Harris, 10 on your side.
Menden is on the hook for $49 million in restitution and faces up to 15 years when sentenced in July. As for Hernowski, prosecutors asked that he be put on trial and remain behind bars until that time. Prosecutors say he has a history of lying to the court and access to weapons.